All right, one episode left. Pretty Little Liars, Summer School, episode 7, The Bogeyman. And I actually looked this up. So, like, there's multiple different spellings of the Bogeyman, but, like, the OG spelling is with 1 O.
Oh.
But in North America, I guess we spell it with 2 O's. But this is a North American show.
Yeah.
So you would think they would spell it with 2.
With
but
1
they spelled
O.
it with O. But I would think that'd be the Bogeyman.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because bogey is like, I was gonna say a British
military term.
No.
Oh.
Well, maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
for like boogers.
No. Well, maybe.
Yeah, that's what they call them in freaking Harry Potter. I got a bogey flavored one.
I was thinking of them as like a. I thought there was a kind of fairy that was like a bogey, or maybe I'm thinking of like a Bogart.
I'm talking about freaking.
I don't know.
Like.
Boogers.
No, in like the Air Force, I got a bogey on my 6.
Which is like a...
Like an enemy friggin' ship.
I don't know. Must have multiple meanings.
All right, moving on from the bogey.
The Booger Man.
All right, so first thing I want to say is fuck Noah hard. They have totally ruined Noah for me this season. I think that, like, I wouldn't say I was some big fan of her previously, but her, like, standing up to her mom and, like, taking her and getting her arrested for what she did and getting her help and doing the right thing. I was, like, cool with that last season.
Yeah.
Like, that's a tough decision. That was really hard. I felt for her when she felt like, damn, like, it was really hard to do that, but I feel like it's the right thing, whatever. But this whole thing with Jen and Sean has been rough to watch because I feel like, especially at the end of this, I feel like we're supposed to be like, you go, girl. Like beating up his car with the bat and being like, if you ever come within 50 yards of I'll do what I just did to your car. And she, like, kind of walks away. And I think we're supposed to be like, get him. Not in the slightest did I feel that way. And speaking of slighted, Sean has every fucking right to be pissed off. And like I told Kaylee when we were talking about this, what is exactly that you expect you're going to have the response of somebody if, like, I said that all weird.
Yeah, I was like...
I said that all weird. I tried to save it because I fucked up and I kept talking and I was like, I'm not going to pull this out. I'm not going to pull this off. What I meant to say was, what is it that you think is going to happen when you do this to somebody? Like, you can't play with fire and then get mad when you get burned. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
So like I said to Kaylee, even though his action might not be justified, going over to her house and making this big scene, that I can kind of understand. I personally wouldn't do it, but, like, what do you expect? Him punching a hole in the wall, it's excessive. Sure. But like I said to Kaylee, if I was to go to a biker bar and start picking a fight with a biker gang and I got killed, while them killing me is still wrong, what the fuck did I expect? Right? Like, when you push someone like that and you lie to them relentlessly, when they're so in love with you and you build this trust with them and you continue to keep breaking it, am I supposed to, like, feel empathy for you when he's upset, justifiably so, and does something that might be a little outside of the realm of, like, what's acceptable, but still isn't that hard to believe? So I just, and oh my God, there's so much to talk about with her, but that just, that irked me so much in the end, where I'm like, am I supposed to be, like, on your side?
I don't know if that's necessarily the vibe that they're going for. I don't think we're supposed to be on her side, and but I agree. I think that she's very unlikable this season, largely because of her, like, actions and how shady she's being and, like, the way she's treating Sean and everything. And I don't like Jen. I think Jen is bad news.
God, no.
I don't mean that in, like, just because she was in like juvie with her. I think that she's kind of already proven it because she like robbed Sean and also her like stepdad and stuff. Like I just think that she's gonna get Noah into some bad stuff, and I won't be surprised if next season, like if they're still together, if she tries to get Noah into like drugs or something. Maybe not. That might be too much of a push, but I don't know. I think that would be a very dramatic like turn for her character. And yeah, I think you already said it though. Like Sean shouldn't go to her house and punch holes in the wall. He's pissed off. Noah reacts like really extremely to that. The whole situation sucks. So yeah,
we don't get to see the interaction between Sean and Jen.
We don't.
Who the fuck knows what she said?
But yeah, exactly.
She could have.
I don't trust Jen. She could have egged him on.
Absolutely.
She could have made it a lot worse and been like, yeah, like I make her feel so much better than you ever did, or whatever, right?
Yeah,
like
I can make her come and you
yeah,
can't.
because like for him to show up and like I don't know. You would think. I guess this kind of does happen when people get cheated on, but he should be mad at Noah maybe more than he should be mad at Jen. Because Noah's the one that's like, I am in a relationship.
Bullshit. She fucking robbed his family.
Yes,
I know he doesn't know that.
In this case, yeah.
Fuck Jen. 100%.
I don't like her.
Plus,
also,
she came in and she was so aggressively going after her the entire time. No, in that case, no. Because she knows who Sean is. Sean bailed her out of fucking jail.
Yeah.
And she's still aggressively going after his girl. No, he should 100% be just as mad at Jen. This isn't some rando.
Yeah, but it's just, he doesn't know all of that, though. You know, he doesn't know that she robbed him. And
but
like,
I do!
But we do. So I'm saying, like, from his perspective.
He does know that he bailed her out, though.
He does. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say is that I think that this also has kind of made Noah, like, she doesn't really feel connected to the girls the same way, like to like all of the Bloody Rose like stuff that's going on. Like I know we had the episode where she was being chased, but aside from that, it feels like everything with her has been relationship drama. Whereas I feel like with the others, like they do have maybe some relationship stuff for sure, like, but a lot of it is, you know, a lot of their motivations and like driving stuff is all related to the Bloody Rose plot.
I think I think because Noah does the least investigation of the killer. Right? Yeah. So you've got Imogen, she's going around, she's talking to the therapist, she's talking to people. You've got Mouse that's like deep into it with Spooky Spaghetti. You've got Tabby who's constantly talking about it with Christian and with everybody else. You know, you've got Farron who she's had more involvement with that, and then she's talking to Kelly, and she's talking, you know, like that. But with Noah, I feel like she provides very little to the group as far as, like, I'm trying to figure this out with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, she'll come along with them, right? But, like, I don't feel like she's so wrapped up in the Jen-Sean love triangle that she's like completely forgot about the murderer who's trying to kill her.
Yeah.
Which just feels, that's why this stuff is like, I get it, we're going to have the romance stuff and all this, but it's like, would this really be the main focus of their life at the moment?
Yeah.
They would be so, wouldn't, like, if someone was after you to kill you, don't you think that would be like all you'd be thinking about, all you'd be doing until that was resolved?
It just shows how much of like a soap opera this is, really. And that's fine. Like it is. That's just how you have to look at it. That's how all the logic in this like universe works. They're going to be like, they're going to be their teen selves and also deal with the fact that a murderer is coming after them. So that's fine. But.
Speaking of television show logic, two things here with this opening. So after Imogen finds out that the killer is potentially her mom, she's covered in blood. And where do they take her? Home? No. To a hospital? No. To the police station? Nope. They take her to a diner. Who the fuck goes to a diner while you're having like a fucking existential crisis? Where you're like, my mom's dead. She can't be alive. Like, this is impossible. This is breaking my reality.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
and she's covered in blood. You're going to take her out in public. You're going to take her in public when you have 5 different houses you could go to talk about this. You're going to take her into public.
Yes,
this is insane.
I do think that's really funny, and like they mention, like they address the fact that they're like, should we take her to a hospital? And I think Mouse or somebody is just like, no, like it's too much attention, like it'll be too many questions or something like that.
They keep doing this.
That I don't feel like that's enough of an explanation for why they wouldn't do it. Like it just makes it kind of feel like, all right. I mean, nothing has physically happened to Imogen. Right? Like is that her blood? No, it's Bloody Rose's blood.
Sure, but like...
But, I mean, she's still in shock and like freaking out. Like, you should probably take her somewhere. At the very least, a house, a home, somewhere private.
They still have not given a good reason.
And there's no reason to have... Sorry, but there's also like... Nothing happens when they're at the diner that would need them to be at the diner. Like, nobody sees them there. There's no like... There's nothing that happens. It's just kind of like a set. So it's like, why not just have them be at home?
They have not done one good piece of explanation in this entire season to tell me why they're not going to the police.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I feel like they just kind of totally ignore the police being a thing.
We dealt with the first one, and then the cop ended up being a dick.
Yeah.
So we're done with the police.
I think that they needed to, like, if they were going to go that route, I feel like they needed to make the police, like, very incompetent or something so that you would understand, like, okay, like, they have to not go, like, they won't help them, they'll just hinder them or whatever. And, like, last season, they had a good, like, because Kelly's dad was the police chief, and there was, like, some antagonism and stuff. Yep. Like, that made sense to why they were, like, hesitant at times or why the police, like, whatever. But now, I mean, he's dead. So it's like, why wouldn't they go? They needed, they haven't addressed that. And I think that's kind of just, not been thought through enough.
One of the most common tropes in horror when you deal with this, right? There's always those, like, questions that have to be answered. And they've streamlined them pretty effectively in horror, where how do you get rid of cell phones, right? How do you get rid of that they would just go to the cops? How do you, there's all these questions that always have to get answered. And in a movie, you have a short amount of time. In a television series like this, with 8 episodes per season, an hour long, 45-minute type things, you have like 6-7 hours. You can take 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You can take some time. But the trope that's typically used here, the most common trope, and I'll use one of our favorite movies as an example, Slumber Party Massacre 2. The reason the cops don't get involved, again, is because they call them and they are proven to be wrong, and the cops are like, if you call again, I'm going to arrest you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
And so when they call back, they just hang up on them. Whatever. This is a very simple tool that they use in horror to explain why the cops aren't getting involved. This has been used in 1,000 horror films and action films and whatever, right?
Sure.
I've seen it in
I think
everything.
That's a very simple way to address it. And
this is like Die Hard.
Yeah.
Right? John McClane tries to call in. They send a squad car over. He checks it out. And they're like, nope. And it's like, don't call back. We're going to arrest you. And he's like, good. Send the fucking cops down here. Come down here and fucking arrest me. Like, it's so stupid. Like, why are the cops not involved in this?
Yeah.
It's so absurd.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not like you don't have evidence, right? You have multiple pieces of evidence at this point. Namely, one of them happens in this episode where Spooky Spaghetti has a bunch of users' names that are telling people where Mouse lives and to kill her grandmother. Right there. Right there. You have every bit of evidence you need to go to the police and say, you need to look into this. You need to get with your tech people, and they need to check the usernames, figure out who the fuck these people are. She already met one of them because they came right into her store with a bandage on their head. They're right there in town.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be a hard case to solve. And then somewhere else in the episode, when they're all revealing, you know, they're talking about, like, they have to talk about their romance first, which is insane. Because Mouse literally had her life threatened, her address revealed, her grandmother fucking put on the chopping block. She doesn't mention almost any of that to the girls and waits for them to divulge their night with their boyfriends.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Literal first thing. The fact that it even took the day to get there as opposed to calling them the second it happened is insane.
I know, yeah.
There's so many things in this show where I'm just like, okay.
I feel like that has actually happened many times with Mouse, where, like, she has, like, very big information to share.
Yeah, and she waits till the next day.
And somehow, well, not even the next day, but it's like she's always, like, the last one to talk. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like her...
Oh, by the way, I figured out who the killer is.
Yeah. I feel like her stuff is always important, and it always is, like, weirdly not prioritized.
Because she's a mouse.
Yeah, maybe that is part of it, but it's just odd. So, yeah, I don't know. As far as, like, their romances and stuff go, I still am very distrustful of Johnny. I don't know.
You and Johnny.
He's new, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm feeling like he's too good to be true for Imogen. That's why I don't think I trust him. You know what I mean? Because, like, he's very, like, understanding and sweet, and he's there for her, and
That's
he's not...
a giant 180 from where you were.
Well, okay. Before, in the beginning, he was a player and everything, right? But ever since she called him out on that, he's, like, into her, and he's only been a gentleman to her. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
That's not too unbelievable to me, personally.
Not that it's unbelievable. I just am wary of him. That's all. Because, like I said, it's feeling a little too good to be true in some ways for Imogen. Like, he's kind of everything that she wants him to be. And it could be exactly what it is, and that's sweet and nice. Or it could all be a ploy to get her to let her guard down.
But once again, I mean, I'm not going to put it past this show at all. It would be one of the biggest conveniences that I've seen in quite a while. She walked into that place on her own to apply for a job.
Oh, sure.
That her landing in the spot in which her killer or killer's accomplice works and works with him and starts a romantic relationship with him is a level of convenience.
He could also end up being like, I wasn't expecting this. Like, he'll end up being conflicted or something and being like, like, you weren't supposed to be, like, so cool, but meh. It probably isn't him, but I'm just still going to hold off on my seal of approval until the end of the season when we find out who the killer is.
Some players are just looking for the right girl and they feel like they're not going to find them, so what the fuck? Why not have some fun while I'm young, while I'm a good-looking guy? I'm just going to play around. But if I find the right girl, I'm ready. I mean... Yeah,
he could definitely
not speaking from experience or anything.
He could definitely be that kind of person. That's
how he is. So far.
I am going to withhold my final judgments until the end.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side because he's new. And I feel the same way about Christian as well. Like, I want Christian to be a cool dude for Tabby. But, again, especially with the whole mask thing, because they also address that, like, immediately. Yeah. They're like, it could be a mask, Imogen. It might not be your mom.
Yeah.
And whenever Tabitha asks him about it, he's like, it's super easy. Like, you just need a 3D printer and you can make somebody's face. So... Yeah. That definitely has me thinking it's probably a mask.
Yes. I mean, the fact that they addressed it is cool because it's like a lot of us are privy to those kinds of things these days, even though it's absurd. And you can watch the episode on Mythbusters where they tried their best to make a mask that looked like a human face and wear it and fool people. And it's just as of right now, it's just not something that's doable because your bone structure is different. But if she's upset and there's shit's covered in blood and there's like some mask over it and everything, could she be fooled in the minute? Sure.
I mean, yeah, I have seen, I guess it depends. Like if you're trying to recreate a mask that looks like another person, like you said, maybe the bone structure.
This is her mother.
Yeah.
She knows her mother's face.
Because I've seen latex masks that people put on themselves, and it's like, it looks like a face. Like, it looks straight up just like a real face.
Okay. But it's not like...
But again, if you're trying to put a mask on somebody who has like a totally different shaped head than the person that you're trying to imitate, like you said, this is like Michael Myers mask on, what's his name? The square head. Dick Warlock, yeah.
I would know your face.
Yes.
Right? As to where you would know mine.
Yeah.
Right? It would look... What it would look like is in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
It would look awful. It would look terrifying.
Right. So
but
it
I
would
think
not
you're right.
look like your face.
It could look like... It could be her mom's face as a mask, and because she's in a heightened emotional state, that she just kind of is like, oh my god, it's her. You know?
But speaking of the mask thing...
I also feel like, sorry, but the therapist and her mom look very similar.
Yeah. I mean...
They really do. They both have long brown hair, brown eyes, pretty similar facial features.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, she still couldn't wear a mask of her mom and it looked exactly like her. I'll tell you that right now. It's just not how it works. But, I don't know. We'll see. But as far as the mask making thing goes, I find it very odd and peculiar that when they're going through the list of suspects, when they come up with this idea that it could be a mask, and they just so happen to, in the time in which this was taking place, meet a guy who makes masks. They did not know him previously.
Yeah.
They already were somewhat suspicious of him when he came around. But now that they think it's a mask, they don't even, not one of them. Tabby should have been the first one, but none of them. When she's like, well, I'll ask Christian what he thinks. Not one person was like, you think it could be fucking Christian that's making the mask? I mean, that would be the most obvious conclusion you would ever come to in your life. And also, Wes, who was known by Christian and Tabby to be making masks.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that neither one of them is offered up as a suspect.
Yeah, both of them should have been at least mentioned. And I mean, Tabitha is just like, I'll ask him. I'll ask
insane.
Christian.
That's insane.
She doesn't think like, oh, maybe it's him. So that's also something that makes him super suspicious.
Yes.
And Wes as well. But I feel like Wes is the red herring. I feel like Wes
is dead.
I feel like Christian killed him.
Yeah.
And
making my masks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just very convenient that Wes is like just leaving, just like that. And I think you're right. I think he's probably going to end up dead. Or maybe Wes and Christian are working together. Maybe they're like tag teaming this.
What I would love to see in episode 8.
Because of, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just thinking like they might be going for like a whole Scream thing with like 2 killers.
They're definitely doing that.
So.
I mean, we've been saying that this whole time.
So Wes and Christian would be the 2 like guys that are into horror movies.
The thing I would love to see, and I'll say it as a like 10% chance of happening, but what I would like to see in episode 8, and I think would be a really cool addition. And it probably should have happened in this episode, to be completely honest, because it would have been a great, like, stinger. And it was going to be, like, this big, huge, emotional, holy shit. But I don't feel like this show is really ever trying to go for, like, a real holy shit. No. I feel like they're going for the, like,
it's melodramatic, yeah.
So, like, what I would love to see, though, is I would love to see the killer kill off every one of the love interests all together.
Yeah.
Like each one of them like goes home after something happens. And Mouse finds Ash dead.
Oh my gosh.
Imogen finds Johnny. You know. Go on down the list. Tabby finds Christian. Freaking Farron finds
that new guy.
Maybe Kelly. The new guy, maybe the old guy. I don't know, because they've just fucked her and Kelly's ex. I don't know, whichever one. And then Sean, dead. Or Jen, or both. But like, for every one of them to take a hit like that would be great. That would be like, oh shit. Because those are characters, because they're not going to kill off the main cast. But for each one of them individually to take that romantic hit like that would be huge. That would be like game changing. And it'd be like, oh wow, this show has stakes. Right? Because those are the secondary main characters and they're the love interest. But I think that you got to kill off at least one or two of them for this show to have any kind of stakes. Now, is Kelly dead? Probably not. Because why do I think Kelly's not dead? Because we already established in this season that Kelly can pull someone out of a pool and give them mouth to mouth. Yeah. Or Kelly. Why the fuck did I say Kelly? Farron can give CPR and save somebody. We already saw that. They already set us up for that earlier in the season when that guy like falls asleep on the job, right? Pulls a little girl out, brings her back, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I think Kelly's going to be revived at the beginning of the next episode. So even
though she should have been, like, her throat should be slit.
Yes.
Right? But she's probably just drowned. There was a little bit of blood in the pool, but I'm sure that's just an injury. I don't think it's like a throat slice. If Kelly's dead, though, that'd be big.
Be pretty big, yeah.
That'd be big. Do you think it's Kelly's mom? With the red roses and everything?
It's certainly suspicious. I think that Kelly's mom might be, like, aware of who the killers are and giving them roses. Maybe. I don't know.
They could just be picking them from her yard.
Yeah. I'm just leaning towards not her, I guess, as the person. Because she also feels a little bit obvious in some ways. Yeah. We've been talking about her, too, throughout multiple episodes this season.
You're right, though. I mean, I like that. I like what you're saying. I think, I don't know how it would work with the, like, female body and the mask and everything. I feel like there needs to be a female involved.
It could be Jen. Jen is definitely still very suspicious.
But Wes and Christian.
Yeah.
Or Christian and Jen. That would be great.
Yeah. I was thinking Christian and Jen because of the, like, having a girl be wearing the mask.
And she was there when Noah gets chased. She just so happens to pull up right there, like Billy coming in to save Sydney. And although that could have been Stu, I don't know. You never know with the Scream movies who's which one, right? Anyway, let's see. No, we already talked about all that. The pastor of the church, he leaves a message to close down Redemption House. I wonder who did that. Right?
Yeah, that's why Kelly's very suspicious of her mom too, and because like somebody else that she calls who her mom I think had told her was in town organizing something. I don't know. She calls and finds out that somebody is not there that is like supposed to be there or like hasn't been there. I don't know who that person is. We didn't rewind it. Oh, yeah. But there is some like incongruity with like that is what makes Kelly initially, well, the rose thing makes her suspicious, but then that adds to her suspicion. So, yeah.
I'd also like to call bullshit on a few things. Number one, Ari Aster would not direct a movie on some local town killing with Sydney Sweeney and Emma Roberts. That's just fucking no way Ari Aster would be interested in that project. Yeah. So the fact they tried to... I know they were trying to pick like a white director that people would know in the horror community, but like Ari Aster the dude only makes original properties. He's not making some fucking based on a true story small town killing
and
with Sydney Sweeney. That's absurd.
They also were like A24.
Yeah.
We were laughing at the way that Tabitha and Christian talk.
Oh, that was my second thing.
Yeah. About how, I don't remember the line now.
Oh, she's like, he can make like Jason and go to hell.
Yes. Yeah. That's just not how people talk.
Yeah.
It's not how horror fans talk. You don't like throw in like movie references to every...
I mean, we would, but like as a joke, and it would be like we would roll our eyes at each other and be like, oh.
Yeah.
You know
the movie
what I mean?
references that I think people make are more...
lines?
Niche. Yeah, they're more like lines from movies, quotes.
Yeah.
But like just quoting the title, like, yeah, that's something we would maybe say as a really bad joke, and like you said, eye-rolly, but she says it kind of seriously. You know?
I mean, I think if we were to go to New York, I probably wouldn't be able to
not
help myself saying,
Jason takes
my
Manhattan.
name's Jason, and like I'm here to take Manhattan.
Yeah.
I mean, so
it's
I don't
not
know. The
horrible.
way they say it though,
it's
not realistic.
Yeah,
but
it's not horrible.
It's a television show.
Yeah.
Nobody talks like people on TV.
No, and especially
Period.
because this is a soap opera, I feel like everybody's dialogue and like relationships are all very fake feeling.
So Dr. Sullivan's kid is supposedly killed by Archie Waters. Imogen confronts Dr. Sullivan. She's like telling her the story. She gets like kidnapped or disappears at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Rose petals are left in the car and all of that. I don't know where I lean on, was she actually taken?
Yeah.
Or was that her like making it seem and staging it to see like she got kidnapped and it's actually her? I mean, if Archie Waters really did kill her kid, then it would make sense that the family would want her part of this and to take her as a hostage, and it would like play in to the Waters family thing. The fact that Rose Waters is sitting in Mouse's living room with the grandmother at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how she's involved that way. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm kind of still leaning towards Dr. Sullivan is probably in on it, and it made it seem like I'm a trustworthy person and I'm going to take the suspicion off of me and I'm going to make it look like I was kidnapped. And I could go either way on that. I'm real 50-50 on that. But if I had to lean one way or the other, I'd probably say I'm leaning towards that she is in on it.
Yeah, I guess me too.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess it would be interesting if it ends up being Dr. Sullivan and Christian, because that was our picks from pretty early on. Like, really early on. So, yours was like first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, first minute.
I was
like, this bitch just did it. This bitch
her.
did it. Yeah.
It's her.
And let's see. The fact, enough with Noah, but like the fact that the girls are supportive of it. I know you're supposed to be supportive of your friends, but I don't think you're. Like, I wouldn't be. I would be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't think they 100% know what's happening, though. Like, I don't think that they know how much... Well, I guess she does tell them, like, I sort of
She knows what's going on, yeah.
I guess they do, but I don't know.
I think they're kind of like, I don't fucking care. I'm going to die.
But that's not true, though, because they care about their relationships.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. That's how they should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like anything with Noah this season, so...
Yeah, and I think he should call the cops on her for breaking his fucking car apart.
I think his mom is probably going to.
She should.
Or do something.
She should. And if you really want to go up against, like, I put a little hole in your drywall and you smashed thousands of dollars worth of fucking windshield, that's fine. Let's go to court, and you give me the money for, I'll give you the money for the wall, and you give me the money for your... Oh, and by the way, while we're there, we're also going to prosecute your fucking girlfriend for stealing shit from my mom.
Yeah.
So let's all go to court. Let's go take this to court, and we can have some character witnesses. Let's get Jen's dad. So, yeah, no. No. Noah, no. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, we talked about the relationship stuff in here.
Yeah.
I like Johnny. Christian, I'm super suspicious on, but if Christian isn't in on this, then I like him.
Yeah.
You know, he's very likable, but I'm like been suspicious of him the whole time. So I'm like on guard with him. Mm-hmm. And then Farron and Kelly's ex, I could give a fuck. I don't care at all.
Yeah, I also don't care about them.
Not 0%.
I just feel like she does. I mean, I don't know. I think everything that was happening with her and her boyfriend was interesting enough. Like, the betrayal of him, like, joining the church and, like, all of that. And now that she's with Kelly's ex, I don't know. It just kind of feels like they want all of the girls to have a boyfriend. Like, they need to have something going on.
Or a girlfriend.
Or a girlfriend, sorry. But they need, like, a partner. You know what I mean? So.
Well, of course. That's the soap opera.
Yeah.
They're always going to have romance going on. Even in the face of death.
Yeah.
They still got to be, getting laid. It was funny that Imogen sleeps in the bed and Tabby makes Christian sleep on the floor. Mm-hmm. Wonder what that says. Mm. Christian's bed did look small, though.
It did.
It was like a double.
Yeah, it looked tiny.
That was tiny. So, anyway, all right. Or a twin. Which one's smaller? The twin's smaller,
I think the twin is smaller, yeah.
It looked like a twin.
Yeah, it did.
Was super small. Mm-hmm. A double. I don't know what a double is.
I think a double is two twins.
A full is a little bit bigger. That's like the one between a twin and a queen.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's a double?
Isn't it like two twins?
No, two twins would be a full.
Oh, I don't know then. I don't know what a double is.
Let us know. It's probably a twin.
Probably.
Double, twin.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably the same thing.
Yeah, it probably is.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So, I was right the first time.
Yeah.
It's a double and a twin. All right. Well, let us know what your theories are, because next episode is the last episode of this season, and I highly doubt they're going to leave it on some cliffhanger that's not going to tell us the killer who Bloody Rose is. There's no way that's happening.
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
We're going to know.
Yeah. So, final guess?
Christian and the therapist. Dr. Sullivan.
Yeah. I think that's a fair guess. I'll change it up and say Wes and Christian. I just don't think... I feel like a female has to be involved. It could still be Chip's mom.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about her in a while. They talked about her for a second with the board. Mm-hmm. Kelly's mom. It's freaking Mouse's grandma this whole time. She's like totally dementia, like ridden, fucking going out there.
Insane.
That'd be wild.
That'd be really crazy.
Yeah. What if it is just Imogen's mom?
That would be the wildest thing. That would be like, what?
You know what? I'm going with that.
You're going with it.
I'm going with it's fucking Imogen's mom. Period. Okay. I think that we're supposed to be, because of the fact they called the mask thing out so early. But who would have a 3D printer? Who would have access to a 3D printer that it's like obvious that they would have one? Who's like techie and would have that kind of shit?
I don't know. The only person that would be maybe Christian.
So Christian and Imogen's mom hooked up and made... No, because she wouldn't need Christian.
No.
He doesn't need to make her a mask. She's got the face.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm going to say it's somehow Imogen's actual mother.
Okay.
I mean, fuck it. Let's go for Let's go for broke here. Let's go crazy. And if that's the case, then I don't think she needs any accomplice.
Yeah. If it's just the mom, then it's probably just her.
Okay. Let's see. I want to hear what you guys think. There's a lot of options.
There is.
There's a lot of options. For sure. It could be so many different people. So at least there's a lot of suspects. This isn't the guy in the hat killed the other guy in the hat, right? That's not what this is. There's 30 people it could be. So that's cool. Mm-hmm. But I feel like realistically there's only like 4 or 5. So we'll see. All right. Let us know.
Bye.
Bye.